All right. Welcome back. Welcome back to the EH Bloodbowl League, where our next game is going to be, well, one of mine. So, for this episode, you're going to get some insights on what I was trying to do in the game. But this match is going to have Legion X's the Mythosaurs versus Atashi Raid's Ravens. Now, this is a Lizardman team, the Mythosaurs, versus the Amazonian team of the Ravens. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to give too much spoilers, but yeah, some very interesting stuff happens during this game. So we're just going to get right in on it. Let's look at the craziness of what happens. Yeah, buckle up, folks. This is a wild ride. And here we are in Mandalore, my home stadium. We have the Mythosaurs versus Ravens. Here we have my dreaded Lizardman team that apparently everybody in the league is afraid of going against at this point. I'm not really boasting, folks. Everybody really is, for some reason, dreading to go against these guys. I know they look intimidating to a point. They're really not. And then we have Ravens. I hope I'm saying that correctly. All Amazonian team. Tough nuts. Mixture of both running and bashing teams. Or a running or bashing team. All-rounder. It's an interesting game what happens. So let's see what happens here. The coin toss is completed. And then we get switched over. I believe, put on the offensive. Or, no, excuse me, defensive. Apologies. Yeah, in this sense, with the Lizardmen being such a strong... Yeah, I was definitely defensive. With the Lizardmen being a strong bashing type team, yeah... I put the majority of my folks, or my heavy hitters on the line while keeping the runners in the back. Here we go with the kickoff. And it's a blitz. My Mythosaurs. Okay, some interesting noises. The Mythosaurs get a free bonus turn, which I take to full advantage by starting a blitz right on one of Atashi's linewomen. And then also having one of my runners get in preparation to steal the ball right off the bat. I then also try to set up two safety precautions just in case, by some miracle, she got past my line. So here we have the Ravens doing their best to go against the Saurus. However, yeah, their armor is really hard to break. Really hard to break. So, I believe she was trying to just destroy my lineman as quickly as possible as the biggest threat. Managed to knock down, but unfortunately did not break the armor. In this case, yeah, double down happened against her favor. It knocked one of her own players out. So unfortunately this continues on to my first turn. I went ahead and just decided to grab the ball, or at least attempt to grab the ball. I did not. And it still didn't go through. So already a good start with my Lizardman not being able to grab the ball. I think this is the part where we start seeing the worst start to Elizabeth's team. My team gets the first death of the entire season. Mudhorn died on a double down. I was already at disadvantage losing one of my linemen. The anger I had was great. However, I still managed to take the ball and bring it to the end zone. Red bringing up the score 1-0 to the favor of the Mythosaurs. Yes, I know, the cheerleaders are there. We're just going to skip those. So with already a death on my side and her knocked out player waking up, while I had the score towards my favor, I was at a huge disadvantage now with one less lineman. So I pretty much kept it as even as I possibly can. So did the Ravens. And then we go with a second kickoff, which was another blitz. I tried to be a little bit of a bad itch, and decided to try to steal the another touchdown yet again. To say that I was salty was a bit of an understatement, you know. I was angry when the death finally happened. Still didn't catch the ball. It's fine. So the Ravens finally pushing up against the runners. Though unfortunately I was able to dodge out. And she was able to push one of my runners out to the field, being kicked by the fans. However, it did not break the armor value, so he's just put on the side. And at this point, she's now trying to do her best to get the ball protected from me. Also, while trying to get ready to bash. Oh, the game glitched there for a little bit. She went ahead and bashed one of my linemen down. It was able to dodge out easily, but not more than once. And got knocked out. Now, she did manage to grab the ball. Ooh, game was still glitching out there. This was a problem to me because I had run another double down and stunned my my big guy, but it stunned her linewoman over there as well. So at this point, nothing really happened. A lot of hitting, a lot of bashing, a lot of moving around, and now at this point, Natasha was trying to send her Amazonians over to the right side to see if she could score. However, I think it turns out that while she was able to hit my oh wait, no, never mind, she did break the armor value, stunned yet another of my Saurus, of my Lizardman. She's about to find out real quick that not all times does Blood Bowl go in her favor. Going to blitz her ball carrier. Get lucky with a push. I'm gonna send one of the runners over to help out, as well as another Saurus to prevent any more help on her side. I also sent one of my Saurus to go ahead and block the others to give a chance to protect those attacking the ball carrier. Give them even more of a chance to try to grab the ball back. After stuns, those two get woken or go back to normal. They're still down. Still managed to dodge out to try to protect the ball carrier. It was actually going to pass it, and she did. However, she was still undefended until she set a sense of one to go right next to her. And now she just seems to be knocking some folks around. Oh, game froze here for a second. Apologies for that, folks. Don't know why the game is freezing at this point. Oh, and a missed dodge. So at this point, I'm trying to make sure that she doesn't score another touchdown. And with that, I go ahead and blitz her ball carrier with a solid hit. Which still needed to find a way to grab the ball. Do so. And started to push her players around, making sure she was going to have a hard time trying to get to my ball carrier. The second dodge attempt failed on her part and KO'd. I don't believe she tried re-rolling, even though she had a re-roll left. And at this point, I didn't want to risk it. And that's another touchdown for the Mythosaurs. Rook getting another touchdown for our team. Yep, with still one dead, I was still at disadvantage. However, she still had her two knocked out. Well, knocked out. So at this point, it's becoming a bit more even in terms of... actually, it's more advantageous on my end at this point. With her having two people down. Once again, another kickoff. And it just goes to the same weather. And at this point, I think she was just trying to do as much damage to my team as possible. Trying to find some sort of way through. Big solid hit. However, again, very hard to break the armor of a Saurus unless you get lucky with a double down, as happened earlier. She once again tries to take possession of the ball, and while she was successful, oh, and passes ball, but unfortunately drops it. Does a re-roll, and still fails. She's having a harder and harder time to get the ball over to the other side to try to not get too far behind in the score. But my Croxagore had other plans. Injuring one of her players. No long-term effect. But at this point, it just seems very... She seems to be in very much trouble against my Lizardman. Now, as a precaution, I once again bring my runners over to the rear and try to defend any sort of way for her to get through, while also doing my best to try to break her team. At this point, the right is completely covered, and I actually used one of my runners to hit. Didn't break any armor, but still knocked her down regardless. The Ravens once again tried to do their best in figuring out what to do against the Mythosaurs. And with the block ability, took down one of the Saurus, but trips running to the ball. And that was her last turn of the half. And with my last turn, I decided I don't think I need the ball anymore. I was just going to try to do my best to break the team, as what any good bashing team does. And that was another KO. That one got lucky and dodged out. However, another blitz is occurring with a big hit. Another armor break. Injures one of the Amazonians. And for last, I wanted to see if one of the Saurus would actually pick it up, and a bunch of juggling happened with nothing actually getting caught. Actually, no. One of her Amazonians finally caught it after several juggling attempts. But that was the first half. And with the Mythosaurs leading 2-0, Reigns Ravens were in trouble. Even with an injury or a death on my end, she now has 2 injuries and 1 person still knocked out. In terms of firepower, she is in trouble. At this point, she just left her formation the way it was while I tried to customize the best offensive style formation I can think of. Kept it even as best as I can. And now the kickoff. Got brilliant coaching effect happening for the Mythosaurs. We got an extra reroll. And the ball barely made it over the halfway mark. Which, unfortunate for her, great for me. And bonehead happened. You will see this often, where the big guy decides to do absolutely nothing. This is the curse of the big guys. At this point, all I tried to do is do some heavy hitting and protecting the ball. While I go ahead and start setting up a cage around the ball, I actually had one of my runners go ahead and pick up the ball easily. And with this, I will do my best to run up the ball again to the touchdown. And for extra measure, knock out another of the Amazonians. At this point, Atashi was in trouble. And Natashi's Ravens running up for blitz. Successfully hits the Saurus, but only knocks it down. Once again, Ordo, the big Croxagore, does nothing because big guy. You will see this often. At this point, I now go ahead and just start running the ball towards the end zone, where I have him get defended by several other runners. Make sure I put up a good defensive cage around the ball carrier. And decided to re-roll that on a risky gamble. Knocked down one of the Amazonians to try to get into the touchdown or the tackle zone of another. Unfortunately, it did not pan out, and she was able to going for it twice. However, manages to miss and KO one of her Amazonians with an attempted dodge. Natashi at this point is running out of players. And I just decided to go for it, dodging and getting another touchdown. Lock with the third touchdown of the game. At this point, victory was most likely assured, or is most likely assured, for the Mythosaurs. She still had 2 injured, but all 3 of her knocked out Amazonians woke up. At this point, I don't know whether she had a plan or just wanted to do her best in surviving. With another kickoff, we got cheering fans getting an extra reroll in this half. Now with the Ravens attempting to protect the ball, unfortunately dropping it, re-roll, and not picking it up again. Leaving much of her defensive line at the mercy of the Saurs. But no, it's fine. The big guy, once again, not doing anything because he's a bonehead. I'm not salty about it. Now with Elizabeth on the offensive, or on the offensive push, I go ahead and send them up, sending one of my runners to the rear just for protection as a backup plan. And one of her Amazonians decided to dodge out, but that left me open to get around her. And at this point now, she's just doing her best to protect the ball, prevent me from getting it once again. Realistically, it was her only play, dropping the ball, re-rolling to hopefully pick it up again. Unfortunately, not for a second time either. Rolls were just not going in her favor. The Croxagore finally doing something and walking, place him perfectly to make sure that that prehensile tail of his keeps people from dodging out so easily. At this point, I start moving my guys to the left and start bashing heads. Didn't break armor, but at least knocked her down. Second hit was a little bit too strong, but only for a stun. That, though, was a bigger hit. KO. Managing to push back the Croxagore. The Ravens doing their absolute best to prevent me from grabbing the ball a third time. Finally picking it up. And now starting to run to the other side from the rear. Itachi risking it, however, did not pan out. At this point, once again, to no one's surprise, the big guy went bonehead again. With no defense women, I went up and I went ahead and had my 2 Sauruses intercept her towards the rear to try my best to grab the ball. Did a bit of a fouling to see what else I could break. Was still kind of salty on the fact that one of my guys was dead. Didn't break the armor value, however, so nothing happened. Tashi trying her best to break my team anymore. But it did look like the rolls were in her favor. She tried to pass the ball, and I think one of my linemen managed to block it. But after a re-roll, managed to successfully... Oh. Bit of a continued foul hit after me trying to foul her. So, you know, it was fine. Nothing happened. The pass was successful. She now has a chance, or she had a chance. It does seem like the Lizardman is going to... Yep. Oh, she managed to dodge out of it. Good. She still has the ball. Oh. The Croxagore just pushing back instead of hitting. But at this point, we send the runners over to prevent any more successful running. Prevent her from scoring. Some more pushing. And now at this point, we're just trying to make sure she doesn't get past that halfway mark. Unfortunately, one of my guys decided to roll bad and get knocked out. With that turnover, it's now 2 turns left for Reigns Ravens to actually score a touchdown. With defeat imminent at this point, she tries to once again attempt a foul to no avail. She attempts to pass, but failed the pass, leaving the ball wide open. And yeah, to no one's surprise, the Croxagore went bonehead doing absolutely nothing. So at this point, I'm just trying to hit folks. Instead of even trying to score, I just try to break. Oh, correction, I did grab the ball. I did try to pass it just for a laugh, I guess, is what I was trying to do. I don't know what I was trying to do. This was a couple of weeks ago. Tashi managing to pick up the ball. Passes, but was intercepted. And with that, the game was quickly over. And with that, the Mythosaurs were victorious 3-0 at the loss of a death against Reigns Ravens. Yep, out of all the teams, mine was the one that had the first death of the league. Unfortunately, we sound the horn over to the honor of the Saurus lineman Mudhorn of Clan Mudhorn. Good riddance. But this also did mean that I was at now a complete disadvantage for the rest of the league until I found a replacement. And I remember I was not able to get enough money to get another lineman replacement. So, had to run an extra runner to try to bring up the number of minimum players to 11 without getting a loader replacement. Yeah, this was an interesting game. First ever that the first game of a season of a league that I've joined would my very first game result in the death of one of my members. So with that, yep, tune in next time for the next of this chaotic league. Let's see what happens on the following games. Take care. Bye-bye.